Good morning, everyone. Good morning, all. Hope my voice is audible. So, welcome to CA Intermediate regular batch for May 26, September 26, and Jan 27 exam. So, this particular batch, we are going to cover GST, and we already announced the group 1 batch for all subjects. So morning we had DT class today, so 7 o'clock to I think 7:30 to 9:30, and 10 to 12 will be daily GST classes. And after completion of this DT and IDT, there will be accounting and law classes. Okay, and so this particular regular batch, we are going to cover everything nook and corner from the scratch only. So don't worry, this is not something like a revision batch or an exam oriented batch, etc. It is full and full regular batch. Okay, and whatever queries that you have, interaction, etc., you can just chat with me. I'm able to see your chat. You can see the chat with me. You can do the chat. I'll be able to see your queries and accordingly reply to those queries. And is my voice audible? Can you all just message me? Can you chat me with me? Are you there? Yes, yes. Thank you, Manasa, Deepika, Surya, Swastika. Yes, thank you. And so I don't know with what expectations you are attending this batch, but let me give you the clarity first. So I don't know whether you completed attending any classes already or not, but I will be under the presumption that you are foundation students and you are for the first time coming into CA Intermediate with that presumption, or you are direct entry students like completed BCom and you have joined CA Intermediate. With that presumption, I am taking the classes for you. So therefore, if you have already attended any classes related to indirect tax, etc. and all, you will feel it like it is little slow. But because primarily I wanted to take the classes for those students who are listening for the first time. That's the reason why. So everything nook and corner we are going to cover. Okay, and I'm planning to take this batch for approximately some 100 to 120 hours. That will be the number of hours that this batch will be for. And so we will have some special classes also whenever whenever there is a need be, because right now I am taking CA final classes. So due to that reason, Sundays I will not be able to take, but once my CA final batch gets completed, so Sundays also I'll be taking classes. So our classes will be from Monday to Saturday daily, so 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Okay, that will be the timing. So no breaks in between, because the class itself is for 2 hours, so don't expect any break. And those who have enrolled for this batch, we are giving you the backup also. Like say for example, internet issue, you may not be able to attend that class, or some health issue, etc. We are giving 40% of the lectures as backup. So I told you now, so I am planning for 120 hours. In this 120 hours, so 40%, that is around 48 hours to 50 hours will be given to as a backup, which means the entire 120 hours will be given to you, but only thing you can watch for some 50 hours, which means you cannot watch everything, but only thing the missed classes, etc. and all you can definitely watch. That is something. And even some students who have subscribed for Google Drive classes also, so Google Drive or subscription mode, etc. and all, so a validity will be as per, like at the time of purchase, whatever validity option you selected, so that will be the validity. Okay, and for live students, those who are attending live, this batch live students, so you will be given backup, don't worry. So we will give you ample backup, like a 1 year backup and all we will give you. Only thing, the number of hours will be like less, but backup will be there. You can watch it later also. In case a particular chapter you wanted to revisit also, definitely you can do that. And you will be provided with 3 books. You will be provided with 3 books. Number 1, resource book, and that resource book will be like a colorful resource book. And this resource book this time we have made with multicolor. So full color only, and then second book will be practice manual. That practice manual will contain past exam questions and study material questions, MCQs, everything will be there in that practice manual. And the third book will be your revised book, CA Intermediate revised book, and that revised book will contain the summary of all the chapters. So you will be given 3 books. And resource book, I will be taking the classes, and practice manual will have MCQs and practice questions. Some of those questions we will discuss, and remaining things you need to practice. And this revised book will be for last minute revision. So that last minute revision book also I will be giving to you. So which is extract from resource book only. Like from the main book only I have given you the summary, so that crisp information if you wanted to complete everything, so you can follow that revised book. Okay. And usually every attempt I will be doing in my YouTube channel revision in GST. So approximately for some 30 hours I will be doing a revision. I will take a 4-day batch, and this 4 days in Chennai. If you are from Chennai, so I will be doing the classes in Mylapore Fine Arts Club in Chennai, or even I will also do it in YouTube. So every time I have been doing for the last 3-4 years I have been doing. So every attempt I will be updating. So my exam oriented batch in my YouTube channel. So that particular exam oriented batch will be taken from revised book. So therefore, if you have revised book and if you want to listen to the classes based on revised book, you can see the YouTube channel. Okay, but that will be 1 month before the exam. For example, you are appearing for May mains, I'll be doing it in March end, last week. Like that I'll be doing that exam oriented batch. So maybe anyhow 1 month before the exam you will have that a kind of revision etc. required. So at that time you can attend those 4-day session. Okay, either YouTube live you can attend, or if you want to attend in Chennai also you can attend that, but that classes will be fully from revised book. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm not going to cover that now, and now we will be focusing only on resource book. So these are the 3 books that will be provided to you. And as there are lot of amendments which will be happening when it comes to DT and IDT, and our paper we are dealing with is paper 3 right now, and in this paper 3, 3A is income tax, 3B is GST, and income tax is for 50 marks, GST is for 50 marks. But the issue is that with respect to tax paper always there will be changes. And what is the Finance Act that will be applicable? So Finance Act 2025 will be applicable for your May 26, September 26 and Jan 27 exams. Okay, and usually changes will happen from time to time. All those changes are also applicable for your exam. And first things first, so you need to know what is the cutoff date. I mean, up to what date changes are applicable for your particular exam, you must be knowing. So this, if you are appearing for May 26 exam, if you are appearing for May 26 exam, all the changes up to, if you are appearing for May 26 exam, all the changes up to 31st October 2025, all changes up to 31st October 2025 will be applicable for your May 26 exam. Whereas if you are appearing for September 26 exam, if you are appearing for September 26 exam, all changes up to 28th February 2026, all changes up to February 2026, 6 months before the exam, like March, April, May, June, July, August. Okay, so 6 months before the exam, whatever changes are there, up to 28th February 2026, whatever changes are there, that will be applicable for September 26 exam. So I'm talking about DT and IDT, that is income tax and GST. So both the subjects, this is common. And again, Jan 27, suppose if you are appearing for Jan 27 exam, all the changes up to 30th June 2026 will be applicable. Okay, and this particular batch we are doing it in October. So October, November, December, like that it will go. up to December mid, like that easily it will go. And as we are doing this batch now, so we are going to cover all the changes which are applicable for May 26 exam, no doubt. But thereafter we will have some changes. So those changes for September 26 and Jan 26, I will be providing the amendments video in YouTube. Okay, so YouTube amendments video I will be providing in YouTube. So I don't know which attempt you are appearing for, but all these three attempts, the Finance Act is same. So all these three attempts, that is May 26 or September 26 or Jan 27, Finance Act 2025, Finance Act 2025, that is common. So what is this Finance Act, sir? Usually if we have fiscal policy, so India has a fiscal policy. Fiscal policy means related to the taxation, revenue inflow, revenue outflow, like from where country gets revenue and public revenue, and for what purpose we are going to spend. Usually budget will be made. That budget will happen every year during February. And for the next year, say for example, for 2025-26, they will make a budget in 2025 February, and that budget will be presented in the parliament. That will be called as Finance Bill, and once the parliament approves, it will become Finance Act. So like that, recently in February 2025, they have presented the bill and that became the act. So that Finance Act will be applicable for all the three attempts, that is May 26, September 26 and Jan 27. Plus, what will happen, sometimes from time to time there will be some changes. So the lawmaker, government will make some changes to the law. So that changes will be by way of notifications and clarifications. Notifications in the sense, like say something they have already made the act and now they wanted to make some modifications. Those modifications will be in the form of notification. So that notification will be released from time to time. So those notifications are applicable for your exam, plus some circulars also will be released. So those circulars are also applicable for your respective exam. And sir, where will I find all these notifications and circulars? Say I am very much interested to know about it on a day-to-day basis and all. Where is it available? Actually, it is not required for you at intermediate level, but for academic interest, really if you wanted to know, so you can just go to this website, taxinformation.cbic.gov.in. So Ministry of Finance, below Ministry of Finance is responsible for taxation. You know that, correct? Ministry of Finance is responsible for all public revenue and public expenditure. What is public revenue? From where the money is collected. Like from people, there are different ways in which the money is collected. One of the ways, taxes. Even government will also do other business activities, like PSUs we have and some other business activities. Through that also they will be generating revenue. So that public revenue will be taken care by Finance Department, and how much will be allocated for each segment or each department, that also Finance Department will take care. Under the Ministry of Finance, we have two bodies, CBDT and CBIC. CBDT will look after income tax related aspects and all will be looked after by CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes, whereas CBIC, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, will look after all indirect tax related matters. Okay, and this is the website, taxinformation.cbic.gov.in. In this, if you go to GST, so customs is not there for you, GST you need to see. So Central Goods and Services Tax Act, so the act will be there, and updated. So if you want to know the updated provision etc. about a particular section, that act will be here. And we have notifications. I told you from time to time they will be giving some notifications. So recently they gave one notification on 18th October 2025, that notifications, and some circulars. So they will be giving circulars also. Okay, so all these notifications, circulars, etc., from time to time, that will be applicable for your relevant attempt. So now you need to know up to which date. So that's what I told you. If you are appearing for May 26, all the notifications, circulars and changes up to 31st October 2025, which we are going to cover in this batch, and all changes up to 28th February 2026. So this also to some extent we are going to cover in this batch, because our batch will go up to December. So due to that reason we are going to cover this also. Okay, whereas those changes which happens in January and February, so that I will be giving as an amendments video. So that amendments video you can check in my YouTube channel. And suppose if there is complete change, like say for example one chapter completely changed, then also I will do that. Don't worry about that. And even Jan 27 the same way. So after February, March, April, May, June, 4 months, any changes are there, that I will incorporate in the amendments video in my YouTube channel. Okay, now I wanted to hear from you, how many of you are appearing for September 26 exam in this? How many of you are appearing for September 26? And this batch is for these 3 attempts common. And how many of you are appearing for September 26? You just mention your attempt there. So everyone, you just mention your attempt there. I know that May 26 some students are writing. Suppose if anyone is writing for September 26 or Jan 27, just mention there. Okay, Sharan September, Varshini September, Devi May 26, Surya May 26. Okay. So it is like mostly May 26 and September 26. Nice. So if at all anyone who is appearing for Jan 26 also, these lectures are relevant. Okay, because we should always know as to what to read, and what's the point in learning something which is outdated, which is not relevant for exam. So then definitely you will face the consequences. That's the reason why I am telling you this. Okay, super. And next thing we need to know is that, sir, how the question paper pattern is going to be. So as I told you that paper 3 in CA intermediate, group 1, in CA intermediate group 1, paper 3 is taxation. And ours is a challenging paper, because the problem is that if you take accounts, only accounts is there, law and other laws are there, and accounting and law, usually what happens is that somehow you will be able to manage, but taxation is more technical and lot of time is involved, because the portion is big, direct tax as well as GST, and the weightage is like, like the marks are 50, but the volume, if you see, direct tax is a separate subject and GST will be like a separate subject, because law and all usually in 100 hours we can complete, 100 hours or 120 hours we can complete the entire law. Okay, classes. Whereas when it comes to DT and IDT, DT will take easily some 160 hours and IDT will take some 120 hours minimum. Okay, so then you can understand 2 subjects, actually 200 marks paper, they are giving it for 100 marks. Okay, so literally according to me it is like 4 papers only in CA intermediate: accounting, law, income tax and GST, like that only you assume. Okay, so only namesake they are giving as 3 papers, but reality is that the 4 papers effort you need to put there. Okay, and in this paper 3 taxation, you know that income tax is for 50 marks, income tax is 50 marks, and GST, goods and services tax, that goods and services tax is for 50 marks, and they divide the question paper into 2 parts, section A and section B, like that they will divide. And in this is section A, and you need to also write your answers in 2 separate answer sheets. You will be given 2 separate answer sheets. Income tax you need to write in separate answer sheet, GST you need to write in separate answer sheet. Okay, section A and section B. Section A is income tax, section B is GST. In this 15 marks, we will be having MCQ for 15 marks. MCQ for 15 marks and descriptive for remaining 35 marks. Okay, same way GST also MCQ will be for 15 marks and descriptive is for 35 marks. That is how the weightage will be. So MCQs also will be there. So 30 marks will be MCQs. Income tax 15, GST 15. But these MCQs are not the ones which you would have seen in economics and quantitative aptitude in foundation, wherein directly one MCQ will be there, and to that there will be 4 options. You need to select one option. No, there will be case scenario MCQs. Case scenario MCQs means first they will give a paragraph. I'll just show you how the case scenario MCQs will be. That is, so in like all MCQs and all for practice for every subject, it is available in the website. So ICI, boslive.ici.org. In that, if you go to this intermediate course, GST, okay, so this is how the case scenario MCQ, they will give a paragraph like this. Manvata Trust, a charitable trust, like that, they will give a paragraph, and this paragraph will run into 2 pages, and for this paragraph, they will give some 4 questions or 5 MCQs, which means these 5 MCQs you can answer only when you go through that paragraph. Without that you will not be able to answer like this. So like this the questions will be. So case scenario MCQs only. And here ICI itself has given a lot of case scenario MCQs. So we are going to cover this. All these things I have incorporated in the practice manual. So therefore practice manual when you are getting, so all these things are already there default in that. Okay, and we can practice it from there. Done. That is about this case scenario MCQs. Even for income tax also same. Income tax also same. So now this is going to become a challenge. Descriptive questions comparatively easy, because MCQs, they will make the questions in such a way that only a student who is having complete knowledge or complete command over the subject will be able to handle the MCQs. That much difficult it will be. It's not like that easy MCQs etc. and all. So therefore don't think that MCQ is a way like good area where we can score. It's not a scoring area. So we need to learn the subject thoroughly. Only when we learn the subject thoroughly, when we read the subject thoroughly, so that MCQs you will be able to score good marks. Whereas descriptive, when you see the question paper, in descriptive, the first question is a compulsory question. I'll just show you one question paper, recent question paper I'll show you. So here, previous year question papers. So this is how the question paper will be. I told you section A, that section A will be income tax, and already MCQ is a different paper. So this first question, they have given an income tax for 15 marks like that. I am talking about GST because about income tax your other faculty would have spoken. So GST, there will be question number 5, which is a compulsory question, and that will be for 15 marks, part A and part B, 15 marks. That's a compulsory question. Thereafter you need to write, because 15 over, so 20 marks more. So 3 questions will be given, 10 marks each. Question number 6, question number 7 and question number 8, 3 questions. Out of these 3 questions you need to write any 2. Each question will be for 10 marks, and there will be 2 parts, part A, part B. For example, question number 8, part A, part B. Same way, question number 7, part A, part B. Like that there will be 2 parts in every question. I mean question number 6, 7, 8. Out of these 3 you need to choose any 2, and 1 will be choice. Okay. So this is how it will be, and this is the MCQ paper. MCQ paper also will be given by ICI. Now they are giving it open, so it is available, and this is how the weightage will be, okay, or the question paper pattern will be. Then, sir, how many chapters we have? There are many chapters given in study material, but we are not going to do it as per study material chapter order, but we are going to follow a different order, so logical way, because like in the study material order, if I need to teach, there are a lot of like bits and pieces, and indirect tax is such a kind of subject wherein it is so much interconnected. We cannot learn like income tax, for example, income tax. Income from salaries means income from salaries only, and capital gains means capital gains only, but here it is not like that. So one provision will be connected in another chapter, etc. and all. So due to that reason, we are going to cover in this logical sequence. So total we have 15 chapters. So introduction to GST, to accounts and records and e-way bill. These are the 15 chapters we are going to cover, and let's learn the subject first. Then I will tell you what is important, where you need to focus more, all those things. As and when we proceed, I will definitely highlight that with you. But this is what you have as syllabus, and I gave the ICI chapter reference also, so that if you want to refer the study material, you might be having study material, or you have the soft copy of the study material in the website, ICI website. If you want to refer, I have given the chapter reference also. And therefore, right now we are in October, I told you, and we are starting batch now only, and all the changes up to which date? All the changes up to October end will be applicable. That's the reason why. So books and all, right now it is work in progress. So resource book alone I have completed, because I need to take the classes, and that book our team will be dispatching. And because of the festive holidays, etc. and all, they have not delivered the book on time. So therefore today only they are delivering the book, because like even you know that in Chennai, so weather conditions also not good, so a lot of rainfall, etc. yesterday. So therefore today they are delivering the book. So tomorrow we will dispatch, or today itself if possible we will dispatch, so that you will be receiving the book. Meanwhile, until that point of time, so I asked my team to share the first chapter PDF in your Telegram group. Hope you are all there in the Telegram group. So in the Telegram group, so I asked my team to share the PDF. Hope you have that PDF in the Telegram group. Please check. Okay. And next thing, by the time we complete the first chapter, we will be receiving the book. So thereafter you can read it from the book itself. Got it? So until that point of time alone, you please manage, but you can make note, and you need to maintain one notebook also. So in that notebook, we will be writing down the answers to some questions. I have given a lot of questions. The answers to those questions we will be writing in our notebook, and any extra information, charts, etc. also we will be making note in our notebook. And for that notebook, one small notebook also okay, not necessary that you need to maintain one big notebook, etc. and all. Even a small notebook also okay, and you just give the page number reference to that, like A5 size small notebook will be there na, that is also enough. You just give the page number reference. So to the notebook, in your notebook you give page number 1, 2, 3 like that you write, and whenever you are writing any information in your notebook, that page number you need to update in the main book, because you are going to read from this book only for exam. So when you are going to read from this book, so in the notes like you read, and there will be one page number reference, means for that you need to refer to the notebook. Okay, like that you just make it easy. So otherwise you don't know where to read, from where to read, what to read, etc. and all. All the weapons, keep that in mind. You are going for a war. You need to keep all the weapons ready, and the preparations should start for the war now itself. It's not like, okay, war is in May, so therefore April I will start the preparation. No, the preparation should start from day one, and therefore today is the day one. So from today the preparation should start accordingly. Is it clear? And those who are appearing for May 26, because many students messaged here that it is May 26, and those some of the students are appearing for September 26. So you need to gear up with your preparation, and remember, the preparation starts now. The preparation starts today. It's not like, okay, casually happily we will see later, nothing of that sort. Okay. And how many of you are from also mention this? So foundation and direct entry. I just wanted to listen from you. So foundation and direct entry. And are you awaiting the result, etc. and all? Suppose if you are from foundation, mention foundation when you have written the exam, like is it last exam or before that exam, etc. Or suppose if you are from direct entry, just mention direct entry. Foundation May 25. Okay, Manasa, Vashini is direct entry, Shweta direct entry, Jayasuriya direct entry. Okay. Gokul is also foundation May 25. Good. Okay. Karthik Swaminathan is foundation September 25. So recently. So Karthik, then you are awaiting result. Good. So Surya is foundation May 25. Cool, yeah. So therefore September 25 only one student of foundation is there. Nice. And which means that result, okay, you are attending the batch before result. Good, keep it up. And see guys, here as you are appearing for the intermediate for the first attempt, and the first attempt is always the golden attempt. You know why? Because you know, the moment you are preparing, it is in a flow, and with the excitement and with new learning, you will be facing the exam. And the moment you face the exam, if you take it lightly, I'll tell you what will happen. It's okay. If not May, September is there. If not September, Jan is there. Now that previously they used to conduct the exams for every 6 months once, but now they are conducting exams 3 months once. It's okay. Attempts are there. But reading the same book again, the flow or momentum will not be the same. First time when you are reading and the first time when you are preparing, there will be a high momentum, pressure, excitement, everything. It's a mixed feeling. It's a bag of emotions. But when you are writing it for the second attempt, so it is like the momentum is lost. When the momentum is lost, even you will feel like, okay, little bit confidence will be broken. When your confidence is broken, so again it will take some time for you to recover out of that. And therefore that's what I'm not talking about here, that you all should clear in first attempt, etc. All those things I'm not telling, but the first attempt when you are writing, the momentum is good, the spirits will be good, and when you are writing it and if you are clearing it, done and dusted. Again, we should not take the same book and read, etc. and all. Okay. And moreover, if you aim for rank, definitely that is going to add value to your resume. So because today there are a lot of students who are appearing for CA exam, and see, foundation you may take any number of attempts. No one will know that. No one will know, because what will they see is that lot of students will come out of graduation and they do inter and they do final. So when they completed graduation, they will see from that when they completed CA inter, when they completed CA final. That's it. Foundation you don't have to specify in your resume, but intermediate which attempt you completed, final which attempt you completed, you need to mention. And so 11th you are mentioning 12th, and you are mentioning intermediate, and you are mentioning final. So therefore foundation, if you have taken 2-3 attempts also, no one will know, but intermediate you have to mention the attempt in the resume. So therefore the employer will know if you are taking 2-3 attempts in intermediate. Okay. Moreover, today shortlisting will happen because there are a number of people who are applying for the job. It's not that CA course which is done only by handful of people. There are a lot of students who are doing. Then competition is naturally be there. And as an employer, how do you think the employer will choose the candidate? There should be certain shortlist or filter that will happen. So what is that filter? First they will filter rankers. They will see rankers, and next they will filter those who cleared in the first attempt, and thereafter they will filter the people who have knowledge, etc. Suppose there are 10 jobs. First they will interview all those rankers and 3 jobs filled. Then they will interview all those who cleared in the first attempt. Then some 4 jobs filled. Then only they will see other people and see how much knowledge they have, how much experience they have, I mean like understanding they have, all those things, and they fill in the jobs, which means rankers, like reservation quota, like that kind of you can think of. So rankers will have the first quota, and then those who cleared in the first attempt will have the second quota, and others will have third quota. So means by that time, what if the jobs are filled already in the first quota and second quota, then you may miss the job. Why should we miss that job? So due to that reason, what I am telling is that right now it is a proper time. So you're starting your preparation now, and maybe already you would have attended the classes, because some students who completed May 25, if you have completed May 25 or direct entry, means already you would have joined for some coaching. Already it is somewhere in the midway. The coaching might be in midway, or you might be starting now only. But whatever the case may be, so you have ample time. In this ample time, definitely you will be able to score a rank. It is easy. Only thing, your hard work matters. You should not have any other avocations or any other deviations. If you are able to focus on your studies, definitely rank is possible. That is not at all a difficulty. Okay. And for that, you need to write both the groups. So if you are planning to write only group 1, in May or September, so then it is difficult. If you are planning to write both the groups, then definitely the chances of getting a rank is there. Worst come, if you are not getting a rank, or if you are not aiming for rank, at least try to clear in the first attempt. So because I told you the reason, 2 reasons. Number 1, the momentum is there, that will be lost. Number 2, even the employer will do the filtration. In that filtration, first attempt is a criteria, okay, for that reason. Done? Then coming back to this, so our subject GST or taxation. So why tax? What is the need of tax? Why tax? Tax is a major source of revenue to government. Agreed? Tax is a major source of revenue to government. Why government need money? Because there is something called as public expenditure. Government has to spend money. Why government should spend money? We don't have every person in the equal social status. Some people are rich, some people are poor, and we don't have the social status or the economic status as same. Correct? And in that case, what is the role of the government? They have to uplift the poor, or they need to provide some assistance to the poor people. How the assistance can be provided to poor people? That's where the concept of taxation is brought. From the rich, we need to collect, and we need to contribute to the poor. So this is clearly mentioned in Arthashastra. Arthashastra is the mother document for all the finances, like all the financial management, accounting, taxation, everything, even economics, the Arthashastra. Who wrote that Arthashastra? Kautilya, also known as Chanakya. So in the Gupta's dynasty, during the Gupta's period, Chandragupta Maurya, etc. and all that time, so the Chanakya was the minister. And this Chanakya, or also known as Kautilya, he wrote Arthashastra. In that Arthashastra, he has given the purpose of taxes. What is the purpose of taxes? We have income disparity in the people. So we, as a king, what king should do is to collect the money from the rich and contribute it to the poor for the upliftment. That's where the concept of taxes is born. And this tax is one of the source of revenue to the government in order to meet the public expenditure. Okay. And how this tax will be collected depends. Suppose if you are earning more money, you have to pay, or if you are doing some activity, you need to pay. Like that, they have brought in. Like for example, you are earning more income, pay the tax, or if you are doing some particular activity, pay the tax. Like that and all they started. That's where the demarcation of direct tax and indirect taxes is. So direct tax, what is the difference that you can find between direct and indirect tax? Anyone? Can you answer? What is the difference between direct and indirect tax? Direct versus indirect tax. One difference I will tell. You would have studied. Direct tax is progressive in nature. Indirect tax is regressive in nature. Have you studied this statement? direct tax is progressive in nature, indirect tax is regressive in nature. What does it mean? It means that, so higher the income, more income tax. But indirect tax is not like that. Whatever may be your earnings, but the indirect tax collected will be same. There is no difference. Progressive means, for example, income tax you take, we have a slab rate model, like up to 5 lakhs nil, or 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs some amount, then 5 lakhs and above, 10 lakhs and above some rate, like that. As you grow or as your income grows, more tax you will be paying. That is what progressive means. Whereas regressive means, whatever may be your income level, the tax that you pay will be same. That is indirect tax. For example, whether a rich person purchases a biscuit packet or a poor person purchases a biscuit packet, on the biscuit packet the GST rate will be same, correct? There is no difference in that. So that is what regressive in nature. Then direct tax, you would also studied this, that this way, the direct tax is payable by one person and borne by the same person. The burden of tax is on the same person. Whereas in indirect tax, the person who is paying the indirect tax will not bear the burden. He in turn transfer the burden to the next person. That's true. For example, I'm paying income tax. I'll pay out of my profit or out of my earnings. I need to bear the burden. Whereas if I'm paying GST, for example, you all joined my classes by paying fees plus GST, correct? And I have to pay GST on the fees collected. But am I paying out of my pocket? No. In turn, I am collecting from you. You have the GST burden. So whatever may be the fees, like 3,999, like that, plus GST, you have the GST burden. You are required to pay the GST. So supplier will pay the GST and in turn recover it from the recipient. So that is what? Payable by one person, whereas the burden is on the other person. That is what indirect tax is. So if you slap a person, if he feels the pain, direct tax. If you slap a person, he in turn slaps the next person. Like that, if the slapping continues and the ultimate consumer will bear the burden, that is indirect tax. Okay, so let's try to understand these things. And DT, tax on level of income, IDT based on level of consumption. Very good, Manasa, keep it up. So based on income and based on consumption. Yes, that is also one way of understanding. And look into this. So we are starting with the introduction to GST. In this introduction to GST, the first thing that I told you is what is tax and the classification. What is tax? Tax is a major source of revenue to meet public expenditure. Public expenditure, I told you, laying down roads is public expenditure, providing water is public expenditure, and even providing the necessary infrastructure. People, homeless people, home will be given. All this is the job of the government. That is public expenditure. To meet that public expenditure, they need a revenue. So a major source of revenue is tax. That tax is divided into direct tax and indirect tax. Okay, and what are the major features of indirect tax? You would have studied about direct tax already, but we will try to learn about the major features of indirect tax. What is that? First, indirect tax is a major source of tax revenue to government. That's true, because in case of DT versus IDT, if you see, indirect tax revenue is only more to the government compared to income tax revenue. The number of people who are paying income tax is less compared to the number of people who are paying indirect tax. So that's why the revenue collection is also more in the form of indirect tax than direct tax. So it's an important and major source of tax revenue to government. Okay. Then second, usually income tax is on net, whereas indirect tax is on gross. Example, you are a trader, you are selling a product for 100 rupees, you are purchasing that product for 70 rupees. Now on 100 rupees you need to pay indirect tax, but on 30, what is that 30? 100 minus 70, on 30 rupees you need to pay income tax, because income tax is always on the net, that is on the profit. And you take an example of a chartered accountant. A chartered accountant collects fees. On the gross fees, indirect tax is payable, whereas fees minus his expenses, there will be profit. On profit, he need to pay income tax. Okay. So tax is not on income but on revenue. Indirect tax is on revenue from sale of goods or services. What is the difference between revenue versus income? Revenue is gross collections, income is revenue minus expenses. And one more point also. Say I am purchasing for 70 rupees and I am selling for 60 rupees at loss. Why do people sell at loss? Sometimes it so happens that they would have purchased a product and because of the time, some new advancement would have happened. For example, you are purchasing iPhone 15 to sell it in your shop, but iPhone 16 came, iPhone 17 came, so still the product is not sold. So what you will do? You are forced to sell at a price less than the price at which you have purchased, correct? So when you are selling, or sometimes for market expansion, they may be selling at a price less than the price at which they have purchased. These are all normal. And when they are selling at a lesser price, so you purchased at 70 and you are selling at 60, you have to pay indirect tax even though you are selling at loss. You are selling, no, you are selling for 60. So definitely you pay the indirect tax. But income tax you don't have to pay. Why? Because it is loss. Income tax is not payable on loss. Income tax is payable only on profit. Are you getting this? So therefore, revenue is on gross collections, whereas income is on revenue minus expenses, and tax is on revenue, not on income. Indirect tax, all these things we are learning. Indirect tax, and wherever possible I am just giving a comparison between direct tax. So what is the first feature that we learn? It's a major source of revenue to government, and usually indirect tax is not on income but on revenue, that is gross collections. And next, liability is on one person and burden is on another person. That already just now I told you. That is, usually in indirect tax what will happen? The person who pays the tax will not bear the burden. In turn, it will be transferred to the next person, and who will have the ultimate burden? Consumer. The one who is consuming the goods or services, that person will have the ultimate indirect tax burden. Every person who pays indirect tax can shift the burden on next person by collecting the tax paid, and the ultimate burden is on the consumer. But in case of income tax, we don't have like this. The person who is paying only should bear the burden of tax. Wider tax base, as more number of people will pay indirect tax rather than direct tax, correct? More people will pay, wider tax base. Because if you see income tax, literally, like majority of the people are not at all covered under income tax. Correct? They are not filing income tax return, they are not paying. But GST is not like that. More people are covered under GST. And so we have even though income tax applicable, but lot of traders, if you see, they will not be paying income tax because lot of cash transactions they will be making. They will not show properly their income and pay. But GST is not like that. GST they have to register and they have to pay some amount of GST. Next, it promotes social welfare as high rate of tax on levied on tobacco and tobacco products. I don't agree to this statement. Just because tax is levied more, that does not mean it promotes social welfare. They should have abolished it. They are not banning it, rather they are telling we levy higher tax rates because of which it creates social welfare. This is humbug, this is cheating. It's not true and all. And that is, it will not promote social welfare and all, but that's true that they are levying more taxes on some sin goods. Like tobacco and tobacco products, you know what is the rate of tax, rate of GST? 40%. 40% is the rate of GST on beverages, like all cola, etc. and all, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, 40%. And even on tobacco products, pan masala, etc. and all, they are levying 40% as the GST. So they are telling promote social welfare as high rate of tax are levied on tobacco products, etc. And this is what I told you, it is regressive in nature, and creates income disparities. True, whatever may be the income of the person, they may be rich or they may be poor, the indirect tax is same, there is no difference in that. But in case of income tax, it is not like that, progressive in nature. Higher the income, more income tax will be payable because we have slab rate model there. Progressive means higher income earners pay higher amount of tax. Regressive means each one, rich or poor, pays the same amount of tax. These are the major features of indirect taxes. What are the indirect taxes that we had in the past? What are the indirect taxes we had in the past? And what are the indirect taxes that we have at present? Let's try to understand that. You can make note of this. You can make note of this. In the past means before 1/7/2017, before. Okay. So the entire discussion now we are making is before 1/7/2017. Why 1/7/2017? Because that is the effective date of implementation of GST in India. 1/7/2017 is the effective date of implementation. So I am talking about before 1/7/2017. Before 1/7/2017, so 7th schedule to the constitution has 3 lists: union list, state list and concurrent list. Union list means where central government is having power to make law. State list means state government is having power to make law. Concurrent list means where both central government and state government is having power to make law. Accordingly, so there were certain indirect taxes levied by central government. Okay. So indirect taxes levied by central government. Can you give me some examples of indirect taxes levied by central government? Levied by central government. Central government. So you know now central government, state government, that India is a federal country wherein we have both the governments. Central government will look after certain activities, state government will look after certain activities. Indirect taxes levied by central government. Any guess? Because you would have studied in foundation, that's why. Or even in direct entry means somewhere you would have studied. Indirect taxes levied by central government. No, VAT is not indirect tax levied by central government. VAT is indirect tax levied by state government. CST, central sales tax. Agreed. So central sales tax. Central sales tax. Next. Central sales tax. Very good, Shweta. Excise duty. Central excise duty. Central excise duty. Next. Very good, Sharon. Customs duty. Customs duty. This is also indirect tax levied by central government. Then service tax. Service tax. That service tax is also levied by central government. When these indirect taxes were levied, when in the sense, usually indirect tax is a event based taxation. Event based taxation means on happening of a event we need to pay tax. Okay. Mostly taxation itself is a event based taxation. There will be a charging section. I mean, like whenever the event happens we need to pay. For example, how many heads of income is there in income tax? 5 heads. Income from salaries. When it will come? Only when there is an employer-employee relationship and the employee is receiving some money from the employer. And next, when there will be income from house property, there is a property which is given on let out or deemed to be let out. Then there will be income from house property. Then when there will be capital gain tax, if there is a capital asset and that capital asset has been transferred, then you need to pay capital gain tax. So income from capital gains. Then PGBP, that is a person carrying out business or profession and earns profits or gains out of that business or profession. Then they need to pay income tax under PGBP and other sources of income. Correct? Like that. Usually taxation is a event based. One event will happen, upon that you need to pay. Even indirect tax is also event based taxation. What is the event upon which we need to pay central excise duty? Manufacture. Whenever there used to be manufacture of goods, they used to pay central excise duty. Manufacture of goods. Hope you are making note of this. You write this information in your notebook. So upon manufacture of goods, we are required to pay central excise duty. And when customs duty? Upon import or export of goods. Whenever you are importing goods into India or exporting goods from India, we need to pay customs duty. Import or export of goods. Import or export of goods. Upon import of goods or export of goods into India or from India, customs duty will be applicable. And service tax on services rendered. on services rendered. Okay, any service like warehousing or insurance or transportation, any service. When you render the services, you were required to pay service tax. And central sales tax on interstate sale. Central sales tax on interstate sale. What is interstate sale? When sale happened from one state to another state. Sale from one state to another state. Sale from one state. Sale from one state to another state. Sale from one state to another state. All this is levied by central government. Okay. So, central excise duty upon manufacture of goods, customs duty upon import or export, service tax on services rendered, central sales tax on interstate sale. Okay. And what happened now? With effect from 1/7/2017, with effect from 1/7/2017, this central excise duty, okay, the central excise duty, service tax and central sales tax, okay, with effect from 1/7/2017, with effect from 1/7/2017, these three, which three? Central excise duty, service tax and central sales tax subsumed into GST. Subsumed into GST. What is the meaning of subsumed into GST? Merged into GST. Subsumed into GST means merged into GST. What are the three things which got merged into GST? Central excise duty, service tax and central sales tax. These three got subsumed into GST. Okay. So, what about customs duty? No, customs duty is not merged into GST. That is outside the ambit of GST. What is the full form of GST? Goods and services tax. Goods and services tax. So, before 1/7/2017, again I am repeating carefully, listen. Before 1/7/2017, there were certain indirect taxes levied by central government. Central excise duty, customs duty, service tax and central sales tax. And central excise duty on manufacture of goods, customs duty on import or export of goods, and service tax on services rendered, central sales tax on interstate sale. Interstate sale means one state to another state. And this central excise duty, service tax and central sales tax got subsumed into GST, but customs duty is outside the ambit of GST. Now we need to understand some points in this connection. Central sales tax, even though levied by central government, but it will be collected and retained by state government. Okay, central sales tax, even though levied by central government. Okay, the central sales tax, even though levied by central government. So, the central sales tax, CST, even though levied by CST, even though levied by central government, but collected and retained by state government. Which state government? Originating state. Originating state. For example, if there is a seller who is in Tamil Nadu and there is a buyer who is in Karnataka, and the seller, while making sale to the buyer, what sale it is? Interstate sale, correct? Interstate sale. Interstate sale. For this interstate sale, this is when? Before 1/7/2017 year, before 1/7/2017, interstate sale to government. Which government? To state government of Tamil Nadu. To state government of Tamil Nadu, this seller is required to pay CST. To state government of Tamil Nadu, the seller is required to pay CST. Okay. To state government of Tamil Nadu, the seller is required to pay CST. Completely it is retained by the state government of Tamil Nadu. 100% retained. 100% retained. They will not be sharing with anyone. So it is not to central government, it is to state government. That's what I told you. CST, central sales tax, even though levied by central government, but it is collected and retained by the organizing state or originating state. Originating state means beginning state. Okay, that is with respect to this. Clear? Everyone made note of this? And the daily handwritten notes will be shared with you. Don't worry, even if you miss writing anything, etc. and all, don't worry. Whatever I am writing, all those daily handwritten notes will be shared with you, so that you can keep a track of it. As to if you have missed making note of anything, you can write down that also, no issue. In the group itself, we will try to share, okay, or in the Google Drive, we will upload and we will share that drive link with you, so you can access that from there. You finished this? Understood up to this? Now, so what is that? We can see all indirect taxes levied by central government in the past. So right now what we are trying to understand, we are trying to understand what were the indirect taxes in the past and how GST is formed. Okay, all indirect taxes levied by central government in the past except customs duty got subsumed into GST with effect from 1/7/2017. Okay, now why customs duty they have not brought into GST? Is there any specific reason? Yes, because import and export we have customs duty. If customs duty is brought into GST, and GST being a new law, suppose if there are some issues, definitely the import and export gets affected. See, within India, okay, no issue. If there is a issue, we can rectify that, we can solve that, and we can make the change in law, etc. But if imports and exports is brought into GST, and because of that, if there is any issue, because any new law will have certain hiccups, and because of that, if the import and export gets affected, then our foreign exchange movement will get affected drastically. Like today, $1 is 85, like that, it will go to $1 as 150 rupees and all. So that's the reason why they don't want to touch it. So they have just kept it outside the ambit of GST. Sir, in future, is there a possibility that the Customs Act might be subsumed in GST? Possible. So not that. Once the GST law gets settled, then they are planning to bring in the customs law into the ambit of GST. That's the plan. Initial plan is that only. Okay. Now, let's try to understand some additional customs duties. There are some additional customs duties called as CVD, countervailing duty, and special additional duty. Let's try to understand this. Kindly make note of this also. So there are two persons. Mr. Gokul is one person and Mr. Sharan is another person. What Mr. Gokul is doing, he is importing the smartphone. Mr. Gokul import smartphone. Mr. Gokul imports smartphone. But all this is when, again, before 1/7/2017. Before 1/7/2017. Mr. Gokul is importing smartphone. What Mr. Sharan is doing, he is purchasing smartphone manufactured in India. Purchase smartphone manufactured. Purchase smartphone manufactured in India. Purchase smartphone manufactured in India. Okay. So Mr. Gokul is importing smartphone, whereas Mr. Sharan is purchasing smartphone manufactured in India. Okay, wow. Now, what will be the burden of taxes on Mr. Gokul? On Mr. Gokul, there will be only one burden, that is before 1/7/2017, he is importing smartphone. When he is importing goods, only customs duty payable. So customs duty on smartphone. Customs duty on smartphone. Customs duty on smartphone. What about Sharan? He is purchasing the smartphone which is manufactured in India, then definitely the raw material needs to be imported. See, smartphone, everything is not manufactured in India. The raw material needs to be imported. So the manufacturer who is making the smartphone will import the raw material, pay customs duty. In turn, he will recover that money from Sharan. So customs duty, what will be the burden on Mr. Sharan? Customs duty on raw material. Whatever raw material that is imported, on that whatever customs duty is paid, in turn recovered from the buyer na, because indirect tax. What is the beauty of indirect tax? Paid by one person, in turn recovered it from the other person, that is consumer. Then, as the product is manufactured in India, there will be central excise duty. As the product is manufactured in India, there used to be central excise duty. So, central excise duty on smartphone. Central excise duty on smartphone. Then that product is sold in India. When the product is sold in India, definitely there will be sales tax, correct? So sales tax on smartphone. Sales tax on smartphone. Sales tax on smartphone. Now listen. So whenever there is import of smartphone, only customs duty on Mr. Gokul, whereas Mr. Sharan, purchase of smartphone manufactured in India, 3 things he need to pay. Now tell me, who is having more burden of taxes, Mr. Gokul or Mr. Sharan? Who is having more burden? More burden, Mr. Sharan, correct? Mr. Sharan is having more tax burden. Why? Because he need to pay customs duty on raw material, he need to pay central excise duty on smartphone, he need to pay sales tax on smartphone, okay? Whereas Mr. Gokul is only importing the smartphone. Now what happens in this case? Imports are encouraged, correct? Definitely, if this be the case, no one will buy locally, everyone will start importing because the burden is less. Everyone will start importing, and if there is more imports, is it good for the economy or bad for the economy? Definitely bad for the economy, because more and more imports, you know what will happen if more imports are there? More and more imports is going to, cause deficit balance of payments. You would have studied in economics. Deficit balance of payments, because the foreign exchange inflow is less than the foreign exchange outflow, then definitely the foreign currency will increase, because the demand for foreign currency increases. Simple, it is not some rocket science, etc. and all, basic economics only. Now you are importing more and you are exporting less, means you have to pay in foreign currency. Say you need to pay in dollars, means the demand for dollars increases. When the demand for dollars increases, definitely the price of the dollar also will increase, because we need to get the dollar from World Bank, and they will tell, okay, we will sell the dollar if it is 80 rupees per dollar or 100 rupees per dollar, like that they will increase. So that's the reason why imports needs to be discouraged. Agreed? Imports needs to be discouraged. You got it? So therefore, as a finance minister, you are the finance minister, you have 2 options. Option number one, you bring in central excise duty here. Okay, and sales tax. You bring in that central excise duty, sales tax. Option 1. So what will happen? Mr. Gokul will have more burden, correct? Because customs duty on smartphone, central excise duty on smartphone, sales tax on smartphone, definitely Gokul will have more burden than Mr. Sharan. So therefore imports will be restricted. This is option 1. Option 2. Option 1 you understood na? That is bring in excise duty and sales tax on import also. Option 1. Option 2. Abolish excise duty and sales tax on locally manufactured goods. Abolish central excise duty and sales tax on locally manufactured goods. So definitely Gokul only will have more burden because it is customs duty on smartphone. Here it is only customs duty on raw material. Okay. So therefore, then also imports will be restricted. Two options you have. Option number 1, bring excise duty and sales tax on import. Option 2, abolish the central excise duty and sales tax on locally manufactured goods. In both the options, the imports will be discouraged and only local manufactured goods will be encouraged. As a finance minister, you tell me which option will you choose? Option 1 or option 2? I want you to reply. Option 1 or option 2? Type there. 1 or 2? 1 or 2? Option 1 or option 2? Are you listening? Okay. So, Varshini, Deepika, Ranganathan, everyone is telling option 1. No option 2. Okay, no option 2. Only Deepa Shri is telling option 2. Jai Surya, Swastika. Okay. Those who said option 1, you have very good future as the finance minister of the country. You know why? Because what you are thinking, rather than removing the existing taxes, it is better to bring in a new tax. So more revenue will come, correct? Whereas those who selected option 2, you are thinking from people point of view. What is that? Areyar, it is so unfortunate that lot of taxes they are paying. Let's abolish the taxes. Okay, if you are thinking about people, if you are thinking about the people of this country, if you are thinking about the people who voted for you, definitely you go for option 2. But no, we are politicians. We will not think about people. Only at the time of elections we will think. Thereafter we will not think. So we go for option 1. Option 1. What is it? Option 1. Bring in the new indirect taxes in order to increase the import burden. Accordingly, to counterbalance this central excise duty on smartphone, they brought in a new levy called as countervailing duty, CVD. For what? To counterbalance excise duty. So like article, if manufactured, you are importing an article, if that like article manufactured in India, there will be excise duty. So on import there will be CVD. Same way, sales tax on like article, if it is sold in India there is sales tax. So on import they created special additional duty. What is this special additional duty? SAD, special additional duty. For what reason? To counterbalance sales tax. That is, they created a duplicate version. So for central excise duty, they created a duplicate version, CVD. For sales tax, they created special additional duty. Now concentrate. This central excise duty and sales tax got subsumed into GST with effect from 1/7/2017, correct? So this CVD and SAD also got subsumed into GST. So with effect from 1/7/2017, okay, CVD and SAD got subsumed into GST. Why it is subsumed into GST? Simple pa. CVD is to counterbalance excise duty, and excise duty got subsumed into GST. Already we studied that excise duty got subsumed into GST. So CVD, which is nothing but to counterbalance excise duty, also got subsumed into GST. Then sales tax got subsumed into GST. So therefore SAD, special additional duty, is to counterbalance sales tax, that also got subsumed into GST. So with effect from 1/7/2017, the CVD and SAD, which were additional customs duties, that got subsumed into GST. Understood up to this? Now, how GST is formed? You can see this. in page 6. How GST is formed. Taxes subsumed into GST. Taxes subsumed into GST. GST is not a new tax. GST is not new tax. Goods and services tax is not something new. Already we had lot of old indirect taxes. Merging everything, they created one new tax, that is, I mean, they have put one, all fruits, they have put in one mixie and they call it as mixed fruit juice. That mixed fruit juice is only GST. You got it? And so what are the indirect taxes levied by central government in the past? Central sales tax, service tax, central excise duty that got subsumed into GST. Even additional customs duty. What is that additional customs duty? CVD and SAD also got subsumed into GST. Is it clear? So, central sales tax, service tax, central excise duty, even additional customs duty, CVD and SAD got subsumed into GST. And what is that CVD SAD? I gave in the same page in the footnote. Customs duty is not part of GST, but additional customs duties. What is that additional customs duties? Like countervailing duty to counterbalance excise duty and special additional duty to counterbalance sales tax are forming part of GST. Understood? That's what we have discussed so far. So far we were talking about indirect taxes by central government. Now we will discuss indirect taxes by state government. Indirect taxes levied by state government. So far we have been discussing indirect taxes levied by central government. What has happened with effect from 1/7? Now we will see before 1/7/2017. Before 1/7/2017, we had some indirect taxes. Before 1/7/2017, indirect taxes levied by state government. Indirect taxes levied by state government. Okay, indirect taxes levied by state government. Sir, whether state government is also having power to levy indirect taxes? Yes, why not? State government is also having power to levy indirect tax. And out of that, some indirect taxes got subsumed into GST. Okay, so there are some indirect taxes which got subsumed into GST, other indirect taxes not got subsumed into GST. So can you tell me some examples of indirect taxes subsumed into GST? What are the indirect taxes levied by state government in the past? Try. Indirect taxes levied by state government in the past. Very good. VAT. Next. Specified indirect taxes. Other indirect taxes. Other indirect taxes. So what are these specified indirect taxes? You said VAT. Good. Value added tax. That value added tax will be applicable on intrastate sale. Whenever there is intrastate sale. Intrastate sale means what? Within the state. On intrastate sale. On intrastate sale, there used to be value added tax, VAT, and that got subsumed into GST. Number 2. Purchase tax. Very good. Purchase tax, also known as octroi. Purchase tax, also known as octroi. You would have studied this while doing final accounts. Purchase tax. Purchase tax is on purchase of goods into a state. On purchase of goods. On purchase of goods into a state. Into a state, we used to pay purchase tax. For example, you are in Tamil Nadu. You are selling to Karnataka, you need to pay CST. You are selling within Tamil Nadu, you need to pay VAT. And if you are buying from Andhra Pradesh, you need to pay purchase tax. Again I am repeating, you are in Tamil Nadu. When you make sale to Karnataka, you are required to pay CST. CST, interstate sale. And if you make sale within Tamil Nadu, you need to pay VAT. And if you are purchasing from Andhra Pradesh, you need to pay purchase tax. That's what we used to pay in the past. Okay. Then next, entertainment tax. Good. entertainment tax. This entertainment tax will be on actors, then DTH, cable TV, cinema theaters, they used to pay entertainment tax. And next, number 4, luxury tax. Luxury tax used to be paid on hotel accommodations. So this entertainment tax is on actors, then TV, and then cinema, okay. Whereas this luxury tax on hotel accommodation, that is whenever we stay in some luxury hotels like 5-star hotels, etc. and all, we used to pay luxury tax. Anything else? We have something called as advertisement tax. Advertisement tax on hoardings, ads, etc. So like TV ads or hoardings or banners, we used to pay advertisement tax. And next, number 6, that is lottery betting and gambling tax. Lottery betting and gambling tax. Lottery betting and gambling tax, this is on lottery tickets, horse races, or some other cards, card games, poker, etc. So on that there used to be lottery betting and gambling tax. These are the 6 specified indirect taxes levied by state government in the past that got subsumed into GST with effect from 1/7/2017. Above indirect taxes subsumed into GST. Subsumed into GST. What is the meaning of subsumed into GST? Means merged into GST. Okay, only 6. What are the 6 specified indirect tax? Value added tax, purchase tax, value added tax, purchase tax, entertainment tax, luxury tax, advertisement tax, lottery betting and gambling tax. These 6 indirect taxes levied by state government got subsumed into GST. That's what I have given here. Value added tax, purchase tax, tax on lottery betting, gambling, entertainment tax, luxury tax and advertisement tax. These are all levied by state government that got subsumed into GST. Can you give me some examples of other indirect taxes levied by state government? Other indirect taxes levied by state government. Other indirect taxes levied by state government. Try. Anything? Very good. Local body tax. This local body tax is something which is payable in Maharashtra. So to the Maharashtra state government, there will be something called as local body tax. These are some examples. Okay, these are some examples. Local body tax, because in MCQ they will give which of the following taxes not subsumed in GST. Okay, there it will be useful. Local body tax. Next. Anything else? Have you heard of state excise duty on liquor, opium, narcotics? State excise duty is payable. Then even you would have heard of stamp duty on property transfer, sale of property. So sale of land, sale of building, stamp duty will be payable. Okay, that. And then even you would have heard of this professional tax. Okay, so that is to Tamil Nadu government or to state government, we need to pay professional tax, and by establishments which are having employees, so they need to pay professional tax. Okay, so these are some examples of other indirect taxes, etc. These are some indirect taxes which is not subsumed into GST, not subsumed. All these not subsumed into GST. not subsumed into GST. Then same way, indirect taxes levied by local authority also not subsumed into GST. Indirect taxes levied by local authority. Indirect taxes levied by local authority. What are the indirect taxes levied by local authority? Example, entertainment tax. Sir, entertainment tax we have state government, yes, state government entertainment tax subsumed. But local authority also is having power to levy entertainment tax. That entertainment tax levied by local authority. Then municipal tax, property tax, municipal tax, we have to pay now municipal tax, property tax, municipal tax, entertainment tax, okay. So these etc. not subsumed. Indirect taxes levied by local authority not subsumed into GST. Not subsumed into GST. Okay. Now, how to remember this? Just remember 3 points. Number 1, all indirect taxes levied by central government in the past except customs duty but including CVD and SAD got subsumed into GST. All indirect taxes levied by central government in the past except customs duty but including CVD and SAD got subsumed into GST. First point. Second point, specified indirect taxes levied by state government got subsumed into GST 6, that is value added tax, purchase tax, and then advertisement tax, luxury tax, entertainment tax, and lottery betting and gambling tax got subsumed into GST. Third point, indirect taxes levied by local authority not got subsumed into GST. So at present, what are the major indirect taxes we have? Only two major, GST and customs. Okay, GST and customs. So that is this. See the first page. So indirect taxes in the past, we had lot of indirect tax in the past like excise duty, customs duty, service tax, central sales tax, value added tax, many other indirect taxes levied by state government. But at present, major indirect tax is only GST and customs duty. Okay. Now, actually, how a law will come into existence, and we need to know a little bit about constitution here. That is, first, the entire constitution, if you see, we have 3 organs: legislative organ, executive organ, and judicial organ. So legislative organ will make the law, that is any law to be implemented in India. See, that is the democracy to work, the Indian government to work. So we have constitution. In the constitution they are telling legislative organ is having the power to make law, executive organ will implement the law. While doing implementation of law, if there is any dispute, the judiciary organ will settle the disputes. Who is the legislative organ? Parliament. So we elect people of the country. People of the country will elect MPs and MLAs. They will go into parliament and assembly and they will make the law, and both the houses like Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, ruling party MPs, opposition MPs. So there will be discussion and they will make the law, and that law will be delegated to executive. Executive means government, central government or state government. Okay. Parliament is not central government. Parliament is different, central government is different. Same way, assembly is different, state government is different. Because in parliament, both the parties will be there. Ruling party, opposition, both will be there. Even in assembly, ruling as well as opposition will be there. And they make the law and they delegate it to, the central government or state government, respective ministry. Because in government, there are multiple ministries. Ministry of Shipping, Ministry of Aviation, or Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Labor and Ministry of Labor, and Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Industry, like that. We have different ministries. To the respective ministry, they will give it for delegation. I mean, they will give it to implement. And say Ministry of Finance is implementing, that is central government, Ministry of Finance. During that process, if there is any dispute, then the judiciary organ will settle the dispute. Legislative organ, Parliament will enact the laws. Executive organ, Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister will implement the law. Judicial organ, Supreme Court will interpret the law or settle the disputes okay, arising out of implementation. Interpret the laws or settle the disputes arising out of implementation of law. And of course, we have a fourth organ, unofficial, that is newspapers or media, because they have the power, newspaper and media is having the power to show the true facts, that is a people's voice. And of course, now the newspaper and media is also under the control of, executive organ, and we can't do anything with respect to that. But otherwise, the newspaper and media was called as the fourth estate, that is like a fourth organ wherein the people's voice needs to be given. Okay. Then next, how an act comes into existence. Usually what happens, first there should be an issue, and whenever there is a issue, usually government will appoint a committee. So first, recognition of an issue. So what is the issue? There are many indirect taxes. And so this many indirect taxes, if the people are paying, then the price of the commodity will increase. So therefore, there is an issue. And government appointed the committee. For GST, what is that committee? Kelkar Task Force Committee. To implement GST in India, first the issue has started that there are multiple indirect taxes. So they have appointed one committee, government has appointed one committee. That committee is Kelkar Task Force Committee. I gave it in the next page. 2004, Dr. Kelkar Task Force recommended the need of national GST. So that committee will be appointed. That committee will do the research and give recommendations. Based on that, the government will prepare a bill, and the bill will be presented in the parliament, and the discussion will happen in both the houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and the bill will be passed with majority. There is a majority approval, majority votes which are required, and that will be sent to the president for assent. For signing. The day on which president signs, it will become act. Okay. Accordingly, next page you see, in 2004, Dr. Kelkar Task Force has been appointed, and they gave recommendation for implementation of GST. Accordingly, in 2006, Union Finance Minister has initiated this discussion in the Parliament, and Constitutional 122nd Amendment Bill is introduced in 2014. 2004 it started. After 10 years, the bill got introduced in the Parliament, and that bill has been enacted. I mean, like, president has approved it and it became act. So both the houses in Parliament passed and it became act in 2016. So Constitutional Amendment Bill is 2014, but Constitutional Amendment Act is 2016. So bill wise it is 122nd number, act wise it is 101st number. You know what does it mean? Means not every bill presented will become act. So for making the constitution amendment, sir, why constitution amendment is required? Because in the past, 7th schedule to the constitution, few powers were given to central government and few powers were given to state government. That's where few taxes were levied by central government, few taxes were levied by state government. Now all these things needs to be merged into one single tax, that is GST. So which means that 7th schedule to the constitution needs to be amended. For that purpose, a constitution amendment bill was presented in 2014 and it became act in 2016. Okay, so bill wise it is 122nd number, act wise it is 101st number. And accordingly, GST law has been enacted with effect from 1/7/2017, implementation of GST across India. These are the specific milestones that we need to remember. Okay. Next, you can see previous page, an overview of major indirect taxes levied in the past. All these things we have seen just now. Excise duty, who will levy excise duty? Central government. When? On goods manufactured in India and on alcoholic liquor. So excise duty will be levied by state government. I told you that also. Then customs duty, who will levy? Central government. On what? Import or export. So there will be basic customs duty payable on import or export, even 2 additional customs duties. Countervailing duty levied on import, special additional duty also levied on import. And service tax. Service tax, who will levy? Central government. On what? On provision of service. Even import and export of service also service tax will be applicable. Sales tax. Sales tax, we have 2 major sales tax, central sales tax and value added tax. Central sales tax is on interstate sale levied by central government but collected and retained by state government, that is originating state. Whereas value added tax is levied by state government and it is in case of intra-state sale, that is within the state sale. Correct? All these major indirect taxes in the past. And in that, some indirect taxes got subsumed into GST. Now, look into page number 5. Page number 5. So, 1954, France became the first country to implement GST. So, which is the first country to implement GST? France. And around 160 countries already implemented GST, and then only India has implemented. See the second point. Within 62 years after implementation of GST in France, around 160 countries across the world have adopted GST because this tax has the capacity to raise revenue. And accordingly, we discussed the amendment bill, amendment act, etc. and all happened. Now, so how many GSTs we have? First, whether this we discussed, taxes subsumed into GST we discussed. Now tell me, income tax. Income tax is a single tax model or dual tax model. What is single tax means? Only one government will levy tax, that is single tax. Dual tax means both the governments, that is central government as well as state government will levy. Income tax is single tax model or dual tax model? Respond. Income tax is single tax model or dual tax model? Income tax, single. Because income tax will be levied by central government and collected by central government. Thereafter, they will be distributing it to the states. So, income tax is a single tax model. Whereas GST is a dual tax model. On the common tax base, both central government will levy GST and state government also will levy GST. For example, when you go to a restaurant and eat food for 500 rupees, 2.5% CGST and 2.5% SGST. Got it? So, dual GST model, you see that here. What is dual GST model and why dual GST is required in India? So, dual GST model refers to levy of GST simultaneously by central government and state government on the common tax base. So, simultaneously by center and state. Dual GST is required as India is a federal country, I told you. Central government has some powers and responsibilities. State government is having some powers and responsibilities. Due to that reason, dual GST is required as India is a federal country where both center and states have been assigned the power to levy and collect taxes through appropriate legislation. And dual GST is designed keeping in mind the constitutional requirement of fiscal federalism. And is India the only country where we have dual GST? No. Dual GST model was already there in Brazil and Canada, and India adopted it from there. This dual GST model adopted from which countries? Brazil and Canada. Sir, in many other countries we have single GST. For example, Singapore or Dubai, etc. and all, there is single tax only, indirect tax. But in India, we have dual GST, central government also will collect, state government also will collect, and we adopted this from Brazil and Canada. Okay, so that is about this. how GST is formed. Okay, and so we have types of GST and what is GST, etc. and all. So it takes some time. I need to explain point by point. So today being an introduction class, so this is sufficient, and so with this we will stop for today, and in tomorrow's class onwards we will continue with the other information. So because you don't have book, and that's the reason why, so initial 1-2 classes till the time you receive your book will go little slow, and thereafter we will continue. Okay, and we have class on Friday and Saturday, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, but Sunday no class. Okay, again from Monday onwards the class will be there, and you please be in the Telegram, everyone join in the Telegram. If at all there is any cancellation of classes, we will let you know in prior. Okay, so 2-3 days I am not taking the classes, I will let you know that in prior, and but otherwise class will be there. This is the time. Okay, and tell me whether this flow is okay for you. Should I increase the speed, decrease the speed, etc.? No, because you are attending online live, right? So you might have attended face-to-face classes so far. So when it is online live, you feel like there might not be any interaction, etc. So that's the reason I am asking. And from tomorrow onwards, the classes will not be in Zoom. That will be in our dedicated app. We have a dedicated app. I know that you would have downloaded, I think, THARUN'S Brainery app. So you check your mail. Already you might have received one mail from us. So like this, one mail you would have received. Okay. So this mail, there will be download link for Android, Windows, iOS, etc. So you can download the app, and there will be a class code also, course key also it would have been given. So you can activate it and you can start attending. If you have any technical issues, in the group itself, you tag the technical team, and they will help you with respect to installation. You please get it installed today, because if you get it installed today, from tomorrow onwards smoothly we can have the classes there. Okay, so a little slow, sir, we can take notes of the extra information you give us. Yes, definitely I'll go little slow, no issue, and even I will repeat it also. And no need to take extra notes. Actually, whatever is there required, all these things are in the book, and if I am writing anything, that extra information alone you make note. And that too, this handwritten notes I will share with you daily, like this. Today is day 1. So CA Inter regular May 26, day 1, day 2, day 3, like that daily the handwritten notes will be given to you. In case if you miss anything also, you can update it from there. Okay, and running notes you don't have to take. Just listen to the class, that is sufficient, because lot of information is already there in the book, and you listen, that is sufficient. If a class is missed by us, when can we be able to see that missed class? So usually by evening we will be uploading the class, and night time you can watch on that day. But whenever it is holiday or Sunday, etc., we may not be able to update it immediately or upload it immediately. So that's the reason. And to the extent possible, please don't miss classes. See, face-to-face means you have to travel long distance and you need to attend. Online live only, na? Just take your mobile or take your laptop and you start attending the classes online. Please don't miss the classes. That's my humble request to the extent possible. If not, so as I told you that we will be, editing the lecture and we will be uploading it. Mostly we will try to do it as soon as possible by the day itself. But if our team is not working, it may be difficult. Okay. Any other queries? And today, mostly we will be dispatching the book tomorrow, and you can get it by Monday. By Monday, you will have all of you will have books. And if you are in Chennai, so please call our office, and if the books are there, please come and collect the books. It is better. Only one book. For GST, only one book. If you are attending income tax also, then 2 books will be there, one concept book and one compiler. Okay. And anyone here attending DT, income tax? Anyone here who is attending income tax? Yes. So Deepika, Sharan, Surya. Okay. Fine. So how did the class go, that class? I have only paid for classes, sir. Should I buy book separately? No, no, no. If you have paid for the classes, you will get book also as a part of the classes. You don't have to pay anything separately for books. Usually in THARUN'S Brainery, it's a policy. If you pay for classes, you will get books complimentary. We will never charge anything extra for books. And we will be conducting test series also. You don't have to pay anything for the test series. We will conduct the test for whichever subject you have enrolled. We will share the question papers, suggested answers. You don't have to pay anything for that. Okay. Books and all we will be giving as a part of the course. And so those who attended DT, so are you able to understand? You want me to pass on any specific feedback to the faculty? Class was good. Okay. Fine. Super. Thank you. And so it will go. So try to complete this DT and IDT as soon as the classes are there. Don't try to miss the classes. Attend all the classes as much as you can. And in case extreme situations only, okay, fine, when you miss the class. But don't worry, we will give you the backup and you can watch those backup classes. You don't have to pay money for the backup classes also. Backup classes also will be given free as a part of the classes which you have joined. Okay. And once this DT, IDT gets completed, there will be accounting and law. Accounting and law, you attend a demo class. If you like it, you continue. Otherwise, not required. Accounting and law also, you attend a demo class, 1 or 2 classes. You request our team, they will give you demo access. And even DT also. DT also, suppose if you want to attend any demo, you please ask our team. They will help you in giving you the demo lecture. You like it, you attend. Otherwise, not required. Okay. Yes. Thank you. And we will meet tomorrow, same time, 10 to 12. Okay. And today I shared one PDF in the Telegram. If possible, you take a print of it and keep. If possible, you have any printer at your place. If possible, you take a print of it and keep it. So tomorrow's class, it will be helpful. Okay. Till the time. This is only till the time you receive the book. Thereafter, it will be like book will be there. So everything we will learn from that book. Any extra information, you can make note in the notebook. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. Take care. We'll meet tomorrow.